What they really need to do is redefine the brand, right? Now let's think about brands for a second. How is the brand defined in the 50s through the 80s? It was a TV commercial. It started out with a 60-second commercial, and then it went to the 30-second commercial. And then after that, it went to the website, right, in the mid-90s, all the way up to probably, let's just say, 2010 or so. Now what is it? How do you define the brand? What is it that, when you think of a brand, how do you think of what it is and what it stands for? I think it's social media. It's how a brand communicates on social, the type of content that is constantly putting out on Twitter and Facebook, on Instagram and Vine and Snapchat. There's another social media network every day, and the reality is people are flocking to these social media networks constantly. So it's how brands communicate in social media. And how are they going to do that? Well, I believe that brands need to come off of their pedestal and come down to where consumers are. They need to be at an equal playing field. Remember that horizontal line that I was talking about, where we're all on the same playing field? That's where brands need to come down to. They need to humanize themselves. They need to be personified. And they need to actually think about who they are. They need to dig deeper than they ever have to find out, what does my brand sound like? What does he or she say? And so I think about, well, how do you do this? And so to humanize the brand, you got to think about yourself as a person. You got to think about yourself walking into a cocktail party or a charity event or whatever you're doing and say, who am I as the brand? What am I going to say? What am I going to look like? Am I going to be like a Taco Bell and be witty, sarcastic, and snarky? Am I going to be like, or am I going to be like another brand that might be friendly, gregarious, and neighborly, right? What charities then am I going to support? And I really need to believe in those charities, because if I'm just doing it to sell more product, I'm going to be called out on that. So brands need to figure out who they are. And then once they know who they are, then be larger than life. Have this uber personality and do it all in, not all in social, but do a lot of it in social. You're connecting people with, in environments that make sense to your brand, and your customers are there. Have an uber personality.